Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So I'm going to be giving you Manchester United's season player ratings so far. So David De Gea, going to give him a 7 out of 10. David De Gea has impressed me recently. He has made some very good saves. Now, I did say to you, didn't I, that David De Gea will remain our number one this season. This is David De Gea's 10th season at the football club. So he has been a long servant and he's made over 400 appearances for Manchester United in all competitions. Over 300 appearances he has made in the Premier League. I've obviously been critical of David De Gea before because he's made a lot of calamitous mistakes in the last couple of years. So I think he's had at least 7 good years at Manchester United. It was only last September he signed a 4-year deal worth £350,000 a week. We paid, was it nearly £19 million for De Gea from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. When De Gea does leave Manchester United, I think he will go back to Spain. Main explanations is because he was born in Spain, relatives are from Spain, his girlfriend's from Spain, began his footballing career in Spain, and back in 2015 he was very close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine the deal never materialised. So yeah, Dean Henderson, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Now, Dean Henderson hasn't played in any of our league games this season. He has played in both of our Carabao Cup games against Luton and Brighton, and he made some good saves in them games. He obviously started the game against Istanbul Başakşehir in the Champions League. That was his Champions League debut, but he was too exposed in that game. Now, I think at some point Dean Henderson will become our number one. Dean Henderson has gained experience because don't forget he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. He's also had loan spells with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury before. Dean Henderson has been part of the club for several years. He's been at Manchester United since the age of 14. And at the beginning of this season, he signed a 6-year contract with the club worth £120,000 a week. Now, there's obviously rumours saying that Dean Henderson could go out on loan in January. So that means we've delayed our future on Sergio Romero. Gareth Southgate's told Dean Henderson he needs to play more regularly before he challenges Jordan Pickford to be England's number 1. So there you go. Now, Wan-Bissaka, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think Wan-Bissaka has done well in quite a lot of games this season. He's underperformed in some games, didn't have the best of starts to the season, but in the games he's played well, he showed good attacking intent, defensively being very good. Don't forget Wan-Bissaka scored his first goal for Manchester United in the 4-1 win against Newcastle. That game against Newcastle was his 50th appearance for the club. This season is Wan-Bissaka's 2nd season at Manchester United. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. So he does deserve credit. Now, Timothy Fosu-Mensah, he's going to get a 5 out of 10. He's played at right back, hasn't he, a couple of times. Hasn't performed that well, to be honest with you. He played a couple of games as well towards the end of last season when he was playing at right back. Axel Tuanzebe, he's going to get a 6 out of 10. Now, Axel Tuanzebe was absolutely exceptional against PSG in the Champions League group stage. You know, I like the way that he dealt with Mbappe and Neymar. That game against PSG was his first start for Manchester United in 10 months. But Axel Tuanzebe was very, very poor against Istanbul Başakşehir. Now, Ollie was talking about Tuanzebe before the Chelsea game a few weeks ago, and he's challenged Axel Tuanzebe to add consistency to ensure that he has a long career at Man United. But obviously, Ollie's hopeful that he does remain injury-free because he has sustained quite a few injuries. Now, Eric Bailly, I'm going to give him I'd say 5 out of 10. Eric Bailly obviously played in both of our Carabao Cup games against Luton and Brighton. He also played in the 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. And I think since then he has been out with injury. Eric Bailly has got a muscle injury. He's out for a couple of weeks. Solskjaer confirmed that the other week. And that's my element of concern about Eric Bailly. He's far too injury prone. You know, Eric Bailly's endured over 4 years now at Man United. We brought him in under the Jose Mourinho era. We paid around 30 million for him from Villarreal. Victor Lindelof. Now, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think he's done well recently. You know, he's defended really, really well and he's looked well composed at the back. I think he did well in, the Everton game, Victor Lindelof. He's done well in a few other games as well. I think he recently had a back injury. There's a lot of games at Manchester United, though, when he's been inconsistent. I've still got strong reservations about him, though. Victor Lindelof's endured a good 3 years or so at the football club. You know, paid, £31 million in from Benfica back in 2017. So, yeah, 7 out of 10 for him. Harry Maguire. I'm going to give him a 8 out of 10. He has really, really rejuvenated himself and he has bounced back from his early season troubles. Don't forget, Harry Maguire had that incident in Greece before the season started. He also sustained a few knocks. He also got sent off in England's 1-0 defeat to Denmark. But it hasn't affected him because Harry Maguire said, you know, he's focusing on his football. He's obviously our current captain. I think in one of the press conferences, it was prior to the Istanbul Başakşehir game, you know, Harry Maguire was asked about his form, his leadership and the impact of the summer and all of that. But yeah, he is our current captain and he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment because we got him in a deal worth £80 million. Harry Maguire was very, very good against Everton, very effective in the air, made some vital interceptions, showed some good attacking intent as well. Good against RB Leipzig. Yeah. Good against Newcastle. Been very impressed with him. Now, Luke Shaw. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He's really, really impressed me recently. You know, he has got 2 assists in his last 2 games. You know, he got an assist for one of Bruno Fernandes' goals against Everton. And he also got an assist for Martial's goal against Istanbul Başakşehir. He had some other good games at Manchester United. The negativity now regarding Luke Shaw is that he's out with a hamstring injury. And he's going to be out for up to a month. That's my little concern about him, you know. Has too many injuries, you know. Luke Shaw's endured a good 6 years or so at Manchester United. Paid, £30 million in from Southampton back in 2014. Brandon Williams, going to give him a 5 out of 10. Obviously, he doesn't get in the team now, really, does he? He did play, though, in both of our Carabao Cup games, and I don't think he was that consistent, to be honest with you. Brandon Williams is obviously now our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. Brandon Williams was very, very good last season, though. He played a lot of games last season. That's obviously because Luke Shaw had a few injuries last season. Don't forget, Brandon Williams did sign, was it a 4-year contract with Manchester United, and we did give him the number 33 shirt. There's a possibility chance we could loan him out next year, so obviously he can get more game time and gain more experience in that. Fred, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think Fred has been very, very consistent. Fred was very, very good against Everton. I like the way he kept the ball, he dictated the play well. His passing was also very, very good. Fred didn't play any part in the Istanbul Başakşehir game. He was poor against Arsenal, to be fair, the other week when we lost 1-0. But in a lot of his games, he's played very, very well. We paid big money for Fred. We paid £52 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. You know, Fred's got a contract with the football club till 2023. Now, Scott McTominay, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. He's had a good couple of games, but I think there's also some games where he's looked off the pace. And I don't think he's good as Fred from my own perception. I've criticised McTominay so many times. But I thought Scott McTominay was very, very good against RB Leipzig. He wasn't too bad against Everton, but he wasn't brilliant. I don't think he was bad in the Carabao Cup games either. So there you go. McTominay signed a 5-year contract with Man United after the first lockdown. Nemanja Matic, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Don't think he's been that consistent. Hasn't played well in the games he's played in this season, but Matic has actually now lost his place in the team. You know, we got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. So Matic has been at the football club now over 3 years. You know, was it beginning of this season he signed a 3-year contract with Manchester United? He could be sold next year, could Matic. Now, Paul Pogba, he's getting a 4 out of 10. I think Paul Pogba has been very, very inconsistent in the games he's played in this season. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure at Man United, he's been inconsistent. Pogba has only started 2 of our last 7 games, hasn't he? You know, Paul Pogba hasn't had a lot of starts though recently. And Paul Pogba is receiving a lot of criticism. You know, Jamie Carragher has said that, you know, he's not good enough for Man United and he should be sold. Dion Dublin criticised Paul Pogba after the 1-0 defeat to Arsenal. I think also too Roy Keane criticised him. But on the other side of things, Phil Neville's come out and said that, you know, Paul Pogba should be getting in the team. Don't forget the France manager, Didier Deschamps. He says that Paul Pogba cannot be happy at Man United for being left on the bench and for playing out of position, and he said he wants to talk with Paul Pogba over his situation at Old Trafford. And Paul Pogba said he's very, very disappointed that we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. So he's under contract with the club till 2022, but there is no talks over getting him a long-term contract at the football club. You know, Pogba's into his 5th season at Man United since he rejoined. Has hardly played this season, like I mentioned. Last season hardly played because he was out with that ankle injury. He's sustained a few injuries as a Man United player, but Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him, didn't we? But he has had a long-running transfer saga. I think Paul Pogba will end up going to Real Madrid because towards the start of the season, Pogba made an admission saying that one day his dream is to join Real Madrid. And he was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year and Zinedine Zidane. And he said that he wanted to leave Man United because he's seeking for a new challenge. He was he's also being linked to with a move back to Juventus because he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. PSG and Barcelona have also been in for him. We only want 53 million for him next year. So that's what, £36 million less than what we paid for him, But yeah, probably Manchester United should sell him, Paul Pogba. Maybe he's had a good couple of games this season when he's come off the bench, that's it. Donny van de Beek, he's going to get a 7 out of 10. I know he's hardly played, but when he has played, he's been consistent. Donny van de Beek has started our last 2 games in the Champions League, hasn't he? He started against RB Leipzig. He was playing in that number 10 role. He obviously started against Istanbul Başakşehir. But he's not yet made his full debut in the Premier League, surprisingly. He obviously scored on his Premier League debut in the opening day defeat to Crystal Palace. That was good to see. He also played in the cup games, didn't he? The Carabao Cup games, and he was quite good. Solskjaer was talking about Donny van de Beek prior to the Leipzig game, and he says he will play a big part this year and he will be an important player, but I think Solskjaer's trying to figure out his best position. Donny van de Beek's. He can play in like 3 different roles, but he's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. We paid £40 million him from Ajax, and he signed a 5-year contract with the club with an option of a further year, and he currently wears that number 34 shirt. Now, Bruno Fernandes, he's going to get a 8 out of 10. Been very, very impressed with him. Bruno Fernandes scored twice against Everton, and he also got an assist in the game. Yes, he was poor in the Istanbul Başakşehir game because he was dispossessed 34 times. There's only been a couple of games though where he's looked off the pace. In the vast majority of his games at Man United, he has been very, very consistent as Bruno Fernandes. He has enjoyed, 9 months at the football club. Last season won Premier League Player of the Month a couple of times. He also won the Matt Busby Player of the Year award. The vast majority of Fernandes' goals have come from the penalty spot. We paid €55 million for Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January. Bruno Fernandes hasn't been happy with Ollie recently. He was talking about Paul Pogba not so long ago. He's obviously not been happy with Mason Greenwood because of his poor training session. But yeah, he's getting a 8 out of 10 anyway. Bruno Fernandes. Now, Jesse Lingard. He's getting a 5 out of 10. Doesn't get in the team now regularly, does he? I think he played in both our Carabao Cup games, if I'm right, and he was very, very inconsistent. I can see he's definitely selling Jesse Lingard next year. Jesse Lingard, by the way, is now out with injury, but I think I heard that he's close to returning. Jesse Lingard's obviously been part of the club for several years. Don't forget there was a period where he didn't score 1 goal or register an assist for over a year. Now, Mason Greenwood, he's going to get a 5 out of 10. Mason Greenwood obviously scored in our game against RB Leipzig. You know, that was his first Champions League goal for Man United, and that game was his 59th appearance for the club. But we've had too many issues with him, haven't we, Mason Greenwood? You know, he didn't play any part in the Everton game. Solskjaer said it was illness, but it turned out it wasn't illness, because he says we've got concerns over Mason Greenwood's attitude and his lifestyle. And like I said, Bruno Fernandes has been frustrated with him recently. Maybe he's done okay in a few games he's played in, you know, this season. He's been withdrawn from the England squad yet again. He was withdrawn from the England squad earlier on in the season, you know, with Phil Foden. I think that was for breaking COVID-19 rules. But I still think that Mason Greenwood is the foreseeable future for Man United. Obviously, he's the fourth player to wear the number 11 at Manchester United, Mason Greenwood. Now, Juan Mata, he's going to get a 7 out of 10. I think Juan Mata's done well in a lot of the games he's played in so far this season. You know, he did well in both our Carabao Cup games against Luton and Brighton, got given man of the match. He also did well in the Newcastle game, got an assist. He also did quite well in the game against Chelsea. He wasn't great against Everton, but he wasn't bad. Juan Mata's been getting a lot of chances this season, and my element of concern about Juan Mata is that he has lost that yard of pace, because he's now in his 30s. He's enjoyed a good 6 years or so at the football club as Juan Mata. You know, he's scored 50 goals for the football club in all competitions, and he's made over 200 odd appearances. We paid just over £37 million to him from Chelsea back in 2014. Earlier on the season, he rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. So there you go. Now, Marcus Rashford, he's going to get a 8 out of 10. Marcus Rashford's really impressed me so far this season. Rashford was very good against Everton. He obviously got an assist. He was unlucky actually not to score against Everton, because he had a couple of good chances. He also got a hat-trick against RB Leipzig. He became the second Manchester United player to score a hat-trick as a substitute. He also scored a late winner in Paris. Second time he'd done that in Paris. He's also scored a few goals in the league this season. Rashford wasn't so good though against Besiktas. He wasn't so good against Arsenal the other week. But prior to that, I think he has done quite well. You know, Rashford has been part of the club for several years, and he recently turned 23 years of age. Now, Daniel James, 4 out of 10. I think definitely Daniel James is out of form. Doesn't play a lot now though, does he? I think he will be gone next year. You know, will we loan him out, or will we get rid of him permanently? More than likely it's going to be a loan. You know, Leeds United are the ones that have been interested in him. You know, we got Daniel James for around £18 million from Swansea back in June last year, and Daniel James signed a 5-year contract with the football club, didn't he? Edison Cavani, he's going to get a 7 out of 10. I've been quite impressed with Edison Cavani, to be honest with you. Obviously, when he came on against Chelsea, almost scored with his first touch. That was his Premier League debut. He also did very well against Everton recently. Obviously scored his first Manchester United goal, and it was his first goal in English football. And he's done well in the other substitute appearances he has made, Edison Cavani. We obviously got Edison Cavani on a free transfer on deadline day. You know, he signed a 2-year contract with the club worth 220 grand a week. And obviously Edison Cavani wears that number 7. Anthony Martial, he's going to get a 5 out of 10. Martial hasn't impressed me at all this season. Obviously, Martial got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. And obviously, he got given a 3-game suspension. Obviously, he served his 3-game suspension now. But he hasn't impressed me, the games he's played in this season. A lot of Manchester United fans are now saying that, he should be dropped. And we need to start Edinson Cavani ahead of him. Martial was good last season under Ole, and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. He has endured over 5 years at the football club, Anthony Martial. Can't really give you a rating on Alex Telles at the moment. Alex Telles hasn't played that much, has he? Because obviously not so long ago he had COVID-19. I thought he'd have played against Everton, but he didn't play against Everton for some reason. But he did play against PSG on his debut, and he was very, very impressive. So for that particular game, I'd give Telles, an 8 out of 10. Telles, though, I think is going to be a very, very good signing for Manchester United. He really, really is. So yeah, so they are your player ratings so far this season. Now, Manchester United's biggest issues to solve in January is a right winger. Definitely Manchester United need a right winger. A centre-half, that's another one. Consistency, that's something else we need to solve because we've been lacking a lot of consistency. Get rid of players as well, because he's still deadwood at the football club. So I think this is what Manchester United need to do in the January transfer window. I said to you yesterday on one of my videos, Manchester United need around 4 or 5 signings to win the Premier League title. I think we also need a new manager, because I don't think Ole is the right man. I hope I'm wrong though. I think we also need a new board, because the board has been one of the problems at the club for the last 7 years or so, because all the managers that we've had since Ferguson haven't been backed enough. So there you go. But we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it now for like 8 years. You know what I mean? Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino is the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. I give you the news on Mauricio Pochettino earlier on. And Marca claims that Mauricio Pochettino is Atletico Bilbao's top target. And he's considering taking the job at Atletico Bilbao because Atletico Bilbao are considering sacking their manager. There's been a few other clubs that have been in for Pochettino as well. Real Madrid, Man City, Barcelona. It said the other week Zenit St Petersburg were in for him. It said he was considering taking the job at PSG. And at one point, Newcastle were in for him. Now, Pochettino is a better manager than Solskjaer, like I've said so many times recently, because he's well Premier League proven and he's dealt with top players and that. The only element of concern about him is not won anything in terms of silverware. Massimiliano Allegri and Julian Nagelsmann, they're another 2 managers on our agenda. We're seeing them as an alternative to Pochettino. But probably wouldn't solve a lot, if we decided to sack Solskjaer. We had a very, very good win against Everton recently. Hopefully we can build on that now and go on a good winning run. If we was to win our next 5 or 6 games, then a lot of pressure would ease off Ole, wouldn't it? But, Ole has been at Manchester United now for almost 2 years. He's got a contract with the football club until 2022. We appointed him in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We did make a mistake by giving him the job permanently, and I think he's in a position he shouldn't be in, but we give him the job permanently reflects on what he did as temporary boss. But I think the club have made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years or so, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. Ollie has managed over 100 games for Manchester United in all competitions, and this is his second full season at the football club. You know, there's Man United fans demanding him out still. You know, there's still some Man United fans saying that he does deserve more time at the club. You know, but like I said, he's spent over £200 million since he became Man United manager, and he's endured 4 transfer windows. I like the way he's promoted the youth. We've seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. You know, last season he did well. You know, last season was his first full season. You know, he got us qualification for the Champions League, also got us third and guided us to 3 semi-finals, and he showed a lot of tactical flexibility in a lot of the big games. I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to succeed at Man United because at the end of the day, he's a club legend. You know, he's a great player for the football club for 11 years, but I just don't think he's good enough to succeed as a manager, like I've said time and time again. Don't forget, Ole's inheriting a lot of players here from the Jose Mourinho era. You know, still a few players here from the Louis van Gaal era. You know, still one player from the Moyes era and a couple of players here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So let's just put that into the equation. But like I said, not all of the blame stems from Ole. You know, we haven't won at Old Trafford yet in the Premier League this season. You know, it's our worst start, Old Trafford, for like 50 years. We are sitting 14th in the Premier League at the moment. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.